What would you say has been the biggest struggle in your journey as a trader? I have a very similar strategy, but we have a completely different process.
That's when I didn't make any money. I lost money.
So now that you're starting to see results from your trading, how are you able to overcome those struggles? What's up, traders? In this interview, you're going to meet Clay from Queensland, Australia. Now, he's been trading for 12 years and you're going to hear all about his story. He's going to share some wisdom on how he has found success and he's passed the CTI evaluation. So make sure that you watch until the end. You smash that like button and share this video with other traders. And if you're interested in one of our funded accounts, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. Hey, Clay, how are you?
Yeah, good, Rodrigo. How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us today, and very grateful for the opportunity to learn something from you. You've been training for quite some time. You've been training longer than me, so it'll be great to hear some of your your story, your struggles, how you overcame them. So yeah, tell us all about that. When did you get started?
Yeah, look, about 12 years ago, a friend of mine, I was working in the mining industry and working long hours, and a friend of mine was passing through the mining town that I lived, and he showed me this thing on his computer, which was trading. He had signed up for an account, and I think he had about $1,000 in an account, and by pure luck, he doubled that overnight. He had no idea what he was talking about or what he was doing, but I saw that as an opportunity. I just couldn't believe my eyes that he'd made $1,000 overnight. So yeah, so I basically went down the rabbit hole of trading and finding out what Forex trading was, reading books. Back then, back in sort of 2011, there wasn't a lot around. There was a couple of educators online, very much price action driven. And yeah, for the last sort of 10 or 12 years, mate, I've just been testing, back testing, learning. I've tried every sort of strategy like everybody has. Read every single book like everybody has, and but basically I think I've somewhat nutted it out and figured out what works for me.
Okay, so what works for you then? What kind of strategy have you developed?
Yep. So basically I gravitated towards mean reversion, and as the markets are mean reverting, as you know, and I eventually, after lots of trial and error and different strategies within mean reversion, I figured out a way to identify which market is mean reverting more than another. So which currency pair based on correlations and different things like that. So I've got a bit of a fairly in-depth process on how I figure that out. And and I basically, I find the market that I want to trade and just basically apply my rules to that market and let it do its thing. I use pending orders mostly. And yeah, it's as simple as that, really.
Nice. So this mean reversion strategy, you said you're using pending orders. So Are you essentially catching sniper entries then?
No, I'll be placing pending orders either above or below the market. So I'm looking at if the market's rallying up, I'll be looking to short the market at a round number or a higher level. And basically I've built calculators and things like that in Excel. So I've got quite a few Excel sheets that I use and a correlation matrix and lots of different things. And yeah, so I'm basically trying to get a better price than the current price and look for it to mean revert back to a equilibrium as such.
Yeah, I have a very similar strategy, but we have a completely different process when it comes to finding it. But my strategy is basically a mean reversion strategy. So we look to capture a fake out essentially. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for fake outs.
Yeah.
So you know, and they happen very often.
They do
because smart money, they have to bank profits at some point, right? They have to reduce the position, and so capturing that small move. Gives you a decent, 2 to 5 hours, sometimes even 10 hours sometimes. What kind of risk reward are you aiming for?
Look, I place, so I trade very small leverage. So my lot sizing is very, very small, but I place a lot of trades. So typically, to be totally honest, my risk reward is terrible. So I may risk 5 to make 1, if that makes sense. But
All right. Okay. Yeah.
That 5 that I'm risking is still a very small amount. So I look
Mhm.
for volume of trades as opposed to risking the typical 2 to 1 and, make 1% and risk maybe 0.5% or
Okay.
if
That's
that kind of
interesting.
makes sense. Yeah. So
Yeah. So, what kind of win rate does your system give you?
So I think based on the evaluation that I just did, from memory, it was about 65% win rate. Yeah, 65% win rate. But I also use leverage as well. So I might add to a position if it goes against me. A lot of people call it the martingale system, but it's not. It's a bit of a twist. But if it goes against me, I may buy a little bit more or sell a little bit more. But it gets to a point where enough is enough as well, and you've got to cut your losses. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. And what would you say has been the biggest struggle in your journey as a trader?
For me, the biggest struggle has been acceptance of the market. And so I've had to I'm a mechanic by trade, so I've had to pull everything apart to understand how it works. So I've had to pull every single little thing apart to do with trading, figure out how it works, so then I can be okay with, yes, the market does this and that indicator does that. And then from that, I've then developed my strategy and edge, etc. So the biggest struggle for me has been basically the learning and the mindset, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
how did you overcome it? So now that you're starting to see results from your trading, how were you able to overcome those struggles?
Yep. So I do a lot of work with mindset. I'm interested in that side of things, and I've overcome it by acceptance. So I've somewhat accepted that the market is random. It's not always random, but if we generally say that the market's random, then you're working with probabilities. So by working with probabilities, I've then overcome those trying to force the market to do something when you have no control over it. So if you just let it go, let go of the theory that you can control the market and control your trades, then that's when I started making money. Yeah.
Wow, it's very powerful and not as stressful.
No, it's not. No, it's not as stressful.
Yeah, you have to have that sort of monk mindset, detached from the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. Attached from the outcome and be at peace with the market.
That's it, yeah. So what is one of your processes or things that you do to help you detach yourself from the outcome?
I'm big into exercise and things like that, and reading and mindset. But I think I have a process every day that I go through. So I get up quite early in the morning here in Australia. I get up at 3 a.m. and so the London session and the US session are slowly closing. And I sit there and I review all of my trades that have triggered and taken profit, etc. overnight, and I reset them. And then once I've reset them and I've been through that process, then I can let go of it and detach from trading and be okay that I've done the work. I've reset my orders. They're good to go. So now detach from it and go on with my day and do what I've got to do.
Fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, it's for me, I have a similar process. And I find that using limit orders or like you say, pending orders or stop orders, it allows the trader to get more of that detachment from the outcome because you've done your job.
Yep.
Now it's up to the market to decide what happens.
Yeah.
And so,
exactly.
But whereas there's traders who are using market orders and there's if there's a lot of discretion there, you're sort of prone to, I guess, the volatility of your emotions.
Yeah.
So for me, I prefer pending orders when it comes to trading. It just helps with that, exactly that detachment from the outcome.
Absolutely.
Because when you attach yourself to the outcome, that's when things get really messy. That's when you start self-sabotaging. And we've all been there. It's tough. It's a tough hole to get out of.
100%, mate. 100%. And that's what I found over the last maybe 8 years, I guess. So I've been trading for 12 or so. When you're trying to force it and you want the market to do something and you are attached to it, that's when I didn't make any money. I lost money. But when I accepted the fact that it actually come from Mark Douglas, I'm sure you all know Mark Douglas. There's a couple of videos of him on YouTube where he basically says, you have no control over the outcome, so just let it go and design your strategy around that and design it around probability. And you'll start to make money. And I honestly did that. One day I drew a line in the sand and I said, that's it. I'm accepting the market is random. And if I throw a big enough net, I'm bound to catch fish. And that's what I did. And I started started to make money ever since. Yeah.
Love
generally.
That. Yeah. That right there is wisdom. That right there. Yeah, Mark Douglas is one of the titans when it comes to trading psychology.
Yeah,
I love reading his stuff, watching his videos. It's just it's so powerful, so powerful. Okay, so what is the biggest tip you will give a struggling trader?
Look, the biggest tip is that, and I hold this close to my heart. It's never give up. Just do not give up. I saw that you could make money from this 12 years ago. I failed to make money for a very long time, and I was determined to do it regardless of what I had to go through. I've been through lots of ups and downs, but just do not give up. You can only fail so many times until you get it right. That's what I found, and you will eventually get it right. So
yeah. That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. That's, not quitting is you allow the compound effect of the skills, the effort, the lessons that you learn. It compounds over time, and eventually, like you said, you stop failing because you learn from the lessons.
Yeah, there comes a point where you can't fail anymore. It's simple as that.
and then new struggles pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
But now you've got the tools. You've got the tools to be able to overcome the new struggles. There's always a new struggle as you. Once you've got consistency, then you've got to treat it like a business. That's another struggle on its own. 100%. It's being able to manage a funded business, being able to scale properly, being able to manage multiple prop firm capital, risk management, position sizing, reinvesting back into the business to scale up even more. All of that. So for those who they're interested in starting a trading business as a funded trader, this is the things you need to overcome. And Clay's been, he's been kind enough to share that journey, and it's a tough journey, guys. It's not. Let's not sugarcoat it, right? It's tough. So Clay, it's been an amazing interview. You've shared some really insightful tips and wisdom on your journey, and I wish you the best of luck. And I hope you smash it this time round and you continue to scale as a CTI portfolio manager. So just another question to conclude everything. What do you think about the CTI funded program?
Look, mate, it's fantastic. I've done 3 or 4 challenges now. I've actually failed a couple and I'm passed, obviously. But the team that's behind you guys are absolutely awesome. Communication's awesome. You and I have had some great chats. Rodrigo, you're brilliant, mate. Really appreciate your support as well through this, and some great things to come by the sounds of it as well. So now, look, CTI, mate, I speak very highly of, and I'm really looking forward to being part of the team and getting some more accounts under my belt and scaling them up.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the team, Clay.
Excellent. Thank you, mate.
Thanks for your time.
No worries at all. Thanks, Rodrigo.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Clay from Queensland, Australia. He's been trading for over 12 years. So the wisdom he shared about overcoming his struggles and the focus on mindset and detaching yourself from the outcome, these are very important lessons that you need to take on board. So if you found this valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and share this video with another trader and hit that bell notification, because there's going to be more interviews like this coming. I've got already another 10 lined up for the next few weeks. So make sure that you stick around. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.